People ask me why I refuse to enter the Appalachian Mountains after dark. The answer is simple. 5 years ago, I saw something there. Something with glowing red eyes. Something the locals call the Mothman. Tonight's story is about a terrifying encounter deep in the Appalachian Mountains, where something impossible followed a group of friends into an abandoned mining town. What began as a simple weekend trip turned into a nightmare involving an eerie legend, a haunted forest, and a strange creature. And if you think this is just another vampire tale, wait until you hear what was discovered after the encounter ended. It's what might still be out there. Before we dive into the story, I have a question for you. Be honest. If you looked out your window at 2 a.m. and saw two glowing red eyes staring back at you from the darkness, what would you do? Tell me in the comments. It happened in October of 2019. There were four of us: me, my older brother Eric, our friend Mason, and Mason's girlfriend Sarah. We rented a cabin near an abandoned coal mining region hidden deep within the Appalachian Mountains. The area was beautiful during the day. Dense forest stretched across endless ridges. Fog drifted between the mountains. Old mining roads disappeared into the wilderness. Locals rarely spoke to outsiders, and when they did, it was usually to tell them not to wander too far after dark. Of course, we laughed. We thought they were just trying to scare tourists. We were wrong. The first warning came from an old gas station about 20 miles from our cabin. The clerk looked nearly 70 years old. Weathered face, grey beard, tired eyes. While ringing up our supplies, he asked where we were staying. When we told him, his expression changed instantly. You boys stay near the cabin after sunset. Eric laughed. What, bears? The old man stared at him and said, No. His voice became quieter. Something else. None of us spoke. The man glanced toward the dark woods beyond the gas station windows. Then he said something I'll never forget. If you hear wings at night, don't look up. A chill crawled across my skin. Before we could ask questions, he handed us our receipt and walked away. That night, we sat around a fire outside the cabin. The forest surrounding us felt unnaturally still. Mason eventually brought up the gas station clerk. Think he was serious? Sarah laughed. He was probably talking about the Mothman. The word immediately caught my attention. Most people know the Mothman legend from Point Pleasant, West Virginia. A giant winged figure, glowing red eyes, often seen before disasters. Many consider it folklore, a myth, a scary story. But locals in part of Appalachia still whispered about sightings, especially near old mining towns, especially after dark. We joked about it for a while. Then something moved beyond the firelight. Everyone saw it, a large shadow slipping silently between the trees. Eric stood up. Probably a deer. But even he didn't sound convinced. because deer don't move like that. And they certainly don't disappear without making a sound. The next day, we decided to explore an abandoned mining settlement a few miles away. The place looked frozen in time. Everything felt haunted. We spent hours taking photos, exploring buildings, looking through old tunnels. Then Sarah found something, a collection of symbols carved into the wall of an abandoned church. Dozens of them, scratched deeply into the wood, all surrounding a crude drawing, a winged figure, tall, thin, red circles for eyes. Below it were words carved into the wood. It was from above. Mason laughed nervously. Okay, that's creepy. Nobody disagreed. As the sun began setting, we headed back toward the cabin. That's when we heard it. A scream, not human, not animal, something in between. The sound echoed through the forest. Long, painful, wrong. Every hair on my body stood up. Sarah grabbed Mason's arm. What was that? Nobody answered because nobody knew. Then we heard wings, huge wings, flapping somewhere above the trees. Slow, heavy, and powerful. We couldn't see anything, only hear it moving through the darkness overhead. Eric whispered, "Let's go." We ran. That night, none of us slept. We were talking about today's incidents, the carvings, and the scream. Around 1 a.m., I was sitting near the cabin window when I noticed movement outside. At first, I thought it was a tree branch. Then it moved, and two red lights appeared. Not lights, eyes, glowing red eyes, roughly 7 feet above the ground, watching the cabin, watching me. The entire body froze. The thing stood perfectly still between the trees. Then it stepped forward. Moonlight briefly illuminated it. I saw dark wings folded against its back, a human shaped body, long arms, and eyes that glowed like burning coals. The Mothman, or something terrifyingly close to it. Fear hit me so hard I couldn't breathe. Then the creature opened its wings. They were enormous, at least 10 feet across, maybe more, and then it vanished upward without a sound. I didn't tell anyone because I don't want them to be afraid. The next morning, I told the others. To my surprise, nobody laughed because they had seen it too. Sarah admitted she had spotted red eyes outside her bedroom window around midnight. Eric heard wings on the roof. Mason found strange marks in the dirt surrounding the cabin. 3 tooth prints, far larger than any bird. At that point, we should have left. Instead, curiosity got the better of us. We wanted answers, so we returned to the abandoned town. That decision nearly got us killed. We found an old journal inside a collapsed mining office. Most pages were ruined, but one entry remained readable. It was dated 1967, the same year many famous Mothman sightings occurred. The final entry read, "It came again tonight. The red-eyed thing. 3 men followed it into the hills. None returned. If anyone finds this journal, leave before sunset. It is not an animal. It wants to be seen. A cold note formed in my stomach because sunset was less than an hour away. Then Sarah disappeared. One moment she was standing beside us, the next she was gone. We heard her scream somewhere beyond the fog. We ran toward the sound. We found her standing completely still, staring upward. Her face was pale. Tears streamed down her cheeks. "What happened?" Eric asked. Sarah pointed. We looked up and saw it. Perched on the roof of an abandoned building, the creature, the Mothman. Its wings spread wider than the roof itself. Its glowing eyes looked directly into us. The world seemed to stop. Nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The strange creature simply stared. It smiled. At least that's what it looked like. A horrifying expression stretching across a face that was not entirely human. And then it jumped. The creature launched into the air. The force of its wings knocked loose pieces of the roof. Dust exploded everywhere. We ran. The fear monster followed. We could hear its wings crashing through the fog behind us. Closer, closer, closer. Something slammed into a tree nearby. Wood shattered. A massive trunk snapped in half. Whatever was chasing us possessed incredible strength. We sprinted toward our truck. The creature screamed again. That awful sound echoed across the mountains. I risked one glance backward. Big mistake. The thing was only 50 yards away. Its red eyes burned through the fog. Its wings stretched across the trail, and it was gaining on us. We reached the truck. Eric started the engine. Mason jumped into the passenger seat. Sarah climbed into the back, and I turned around one final time. The creature stood at the edge of the forest, watching, waiting, not attacking, just watching. Then every electronic device inside the truck died. The radio, phones, GPS, everything. The engine stalled. Silence. The Mothman slowly stepped forward. One step, then another. Its eyes never blinked, never looked away. The creature seemed almost curious, as if studying us, as if deciding something. Then a deafening explosion echoed through the mountains. Boom! The ground shook. Birds erupted from the forest. The creature instantly snapped its head toward the sound, and then it vanished, straight upward into the darkening sky. Gone. The truck restarted immediately afterward. We didn't wait. We drove away as fast as possible. None of us spoke during the 2-hour drive home. We simply wanted distance between ourselves and those mountains. But the story didn't end there. 2 days later, the news reported a major collapse at an abandoned mining site near the area we had visited. The explosion we heard had been the first sign of the disaster. Several structures had fallen into the old mine shafts. The timing chilled us because, according to the old legends, sightings of the Mothman often happen before tragedies. Warnings, omens, signs. Maybe that's all folklore. Maybe. But there is one final detail I have not mentioned. 3 weeks after returning home, Mason sent me a photograph, one we had never noticed before. It had been taken on our first day in the abandoned town. The image showed us standing near the old church, smiling, completely unaware. Behind us, high on a distant rooftop, stood a dark figure, tall, winged, watching. Its glowing red eyes were visible even in daylight. We enlarged the photo, and that's when we noticed something even worse. The figure was not looking at the camera, it was not looking at us. It was looking directly at the person who would later die during the mining collapse. A man visible in the background of the image, a worker we had unknowingly photographed. He died 2 days later. None of us could explain it. None of us wanted to. Because some mysteries are better left unanswered. To this day, I avoid the Appalachian Mountains. I avoid stories about the Mothman. And whenever I hear wings overhead at night, I never look up. Because I still remember those glowing red eyes staring through the darkness, waiting, watching, and sometimes late at night when everything becomes silent, I can't shake the feeling that the strange creature from those haunted mountains never really left. That somewhere above me, the Mothman is still there, watching from the dark.